Good afternoon, children. Yesterday we were already studied the discussion with respect to the competitive report. That means NEET, third chapter, which is that one. Yes, human reproduction. It's about 25 questions we were completed. Today we will continue the remaining questions. Okay? Yeah. In that one, the first question, that means 26th question, which is not suitable for spermatogenesis. Okay? Yeah, you should identify not suitable statement or option. So first of all, you should know the meaning of the spermatogenesis. Just recall the meaning of the spermatogenesis. The process of formation of sperms in the seminiferous tubules of the testis is called spermatogenesis, isn't it? Here you should identify not suitable. Okay, so a limited growth phase, yes, we can identify. Then each secondary spermatocyte produces 2 spermatids eggs, that is also correct. Then the C, spermatogonia undergo first meiotic division. See, this is not suitable. Okay, then the D, no polar bodies. So there is no question of the polar bodies in case of the spermatogenesis. The polar bodies which can be identified only during oogenesis. Okay. See here, let me tell you why the right option and not suitable. The spermatogonia actually, it is a 2n, okay, which is undergo, that is mitotic division. It will be give stage to the primary spermatocyte. Okay. Then after that primary spermatocyte which is undergo first meiotic division, isn't it? Then it will be give stage to the secondary meiocytes. So but here what they have given in the option, why it is not suitable? Directly they have given that is spermatogonia undergo first meiotic division, isn't it? The spermatogonia, it is not directly undergo meiotic division, it will undergo mitotic division. Then after that primary spermatocyte which is undergo first meiotic division, isn't it? So that's why, that means this statement or this option is not suitable for spermatogenesis. Is it clear? Yeah. Then the next question, 27th one. So this question is also related to the gametogenesis, specifically oogenesis. In oogenesis, the second meiotic division occurs. So here it's also, for the purpose of to identify the exact answer, you should know the flow chart or diagrammatic representation of the oogenesis. Then only you can identify the right answer. What they were given here. So in oogenesis, first of all, what is meaning of oogenesis? The process of formation of ova or egg in the follicle of ovary is called oogenesis, isn't it? Now what they have given, second meiotic division occurs. So we should identify when it will happen. Okay. So let me to tell you briefly, when the oogonia which is undergo, that is mitotic division during growth phase, it will be give stage to the primary oocyte. Then which is undergo meiotic arrest. Later, which is, that means after the formation of primary oocyte, it will be undergo meiosis, first meiosis, which will be give stage to the first polar body and secondary oocyte. Then after which is undergo second meiosis. Okay, second meiosis, isn't it? So then there is a formation of the second polar body and ovum. Did you got it? So now in oogenesis, when will be the second meiotic division occurs? During. Okay. So that means during fertilization, that after immediately. Okay. You should know the meaning of maturation phase. Then you can clearly understand this question. Because during maturation phase, ovulation now occurs and second meiotic division is initiated by the stimulus of fertilization. Did you got it? Yeah. So that's why option D is the right answer. Did you got it? Yes. The next question, 28th one. So this is also related to the gametogenesis. Specifically, yes, that is the oogenesis. Ovum released from graphene follicle will be at the stage of, that's what I said, secondary oocyte. The ovum, isn't it? After the primary oocyte, which is undergo meiotic division, it will be used as the secondary oocyte along with the first polar body, isn't it? That means that is also a ovum only. Yes, the secondary oocyte. Further undergo secondary meiotic division, it will be used as to second polar body and ovum. Did you got it? Yes. Next question. So this is also the same topic, related question. Gametogenesis. Which of the following is the correct order? Yeah, by considering with respect to the spermatogenesis. So this is actually when we are discussing about the hormonal influence on the spermatogenesis. I told you while we are discussing about the spermatogenesis, isn't it? Just recall. I'll just go through the topic. The spermatogenesis starts at the age of the puberty due to the significant increase in the secretion of, that is GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone, which is a hypothalamic hormone, isn't it? Then the increased level of GnRH, that is gonadotropin releasing hormone, acts on anterior pituitary, stimulates the secretion of the, that is, two gonadotropins, that is luteinizing hormone. Then the luteinizing hormone acts on Leydig cells, stimulates the synthesis and secretion of the androgen. Then the androgens in turn stimulate the spermatogenesis. Did you got it? So which is the correct order? Option C is the correct order with respect to the hormonal influence on spermatogenesis. Next question, 30. So this question is also related to the gametogenesis. Yeah, the function of spiral mitochondria in the sperm. See, while we are discussing about the structure of the sperm, you must have observed in the structure, that means in the middle piece, that mitochondria. Do you observe that one? Yes. So the function of the spiral mitochondria in the sperm is, yes, it provides energy for tile movement, that is undulating movement. That is, it also acts as the energy source for swimming, or we can also say undulating movement. Did you got it? You know very well that mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, isn't it? Yeah. But in this case, I mean in the case of the structure of the sperm, it is present in the form of the spiral mitochondria at the region of middle piece. So that this question is related to the structure of the sperm. Is it clear? Then the next question, this question is related to the menstrual cycle. Okay, first of all, let me to once again recall the definition or the meaning of menstrual cycle. The reproductive cycle in the female primates, example monkeys, apes and including human beings, is called menstrual cycle, isn't it? And the first menstruation begins at puberty, is called menarche. Did you got it? When it will be happens? The first menstruation during puberty. Okay. Yeah. So at around, I told you when we are discussing the cycle, so around at age of the 12, so this case there is menarche, it can be identified. Okay. Next question, It is also related to the menstrual cycle. The progesterone is secreted by, yes, the progesterone is secreted by corpus luteum and placenta. Remember, while we are discussing about the hormonal influence, okay, I told you clearly the progesterone, it is not only secreted by corpus luteum, it is also secreted from placenta. Okay, yeah. Next question. Yes, pick the odd one out. So here this question is related to the, again, the topic menstrual cycle. The let me to read the statements: regeneration of endometrium, maturation of ovarian follicles, rupture of Gravian follicle, formation of corpus luteum. Okay, so here why it is not, not comes under this one, or we can also say it is odd one. The first of all, let me to tell you the remaining three statements: the maturation of ovarian follicle, rupture of Gravian follicle, the formation of corpus luteum. When it will be happens? Okay, so this process generally comes under the which phases? Yes, yeah, maturation of follicles. So these are all things when we identify during the phase of the, so that means, yes, whenever there will be no fertilization, then only the regeneration of endometrium happens, isn't it? That is the last stage. Before that, so the maturation of the ovarian follicle, it will be give stage to the primary, secondary, tertiary follicle. Then the rupture of Gravian follicle will be give stage to the, that is ovulation, or which gives stage to oocyte. Then the formation of corpus luteum, isn't it? If there will be no, the fertilization, then only, isn't it, the shedding after that regeneration of the endometrium. Did you got it? That's right. So the remaining B, C, D, immediate one by one it will happen. The regeneration is almost on the last, the stage, or we can also say the from the beginning. Okay, yeah. Next question, menstruation. While we are discussing the menstruation, the menstrual cycle, I told you the menstruation phase, follicular phase, ovulatory phase, and luteal phase, isn't it? When will the menstruation occurs? As there is no fertilization of the ovum, then due to the rupture of endometrial lining, isn't it? In that case, when there will be no pregnancy, the menstruation occurs only if the released ovum is not fertilized. And the lack of menstruation is the indicative of pregnancy also. Did you got it? Yes. The next question is match the following. This is also related to the match the following hormones with respect to the function during menstrual cycle. See here in A column they have given the name of the hormones, and the B column they have given the specific action, or you can also say the function. FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. What is the role of this FSH? The maturation of Gravian follicle. Then what about the luteinizing hormones? Development of, that is, corpus luteum. Then what about the progesterone? It will prepare the endometrium for implantation. Then estrogen, that it develops female secondary sexual characteristics. Now you can identify which is the right answer. Yes, option A is the right answer. Did you got it? The next question, it is also related to the menstrual cycle. In that is proliferative phase. You know what is the proliferative phase? Do you remember? Yes. When it will be? Yeah. Especially when they are discussing about the proliferative phase. While we are discussing about the graphene follicle, I told you, I hope you can remember, isn't it? What are the main changes? The primary follicle becomes a graphene follicle. Okay, so I told you it is a very important phase, isn't it? Did you got it? Yes. Next question, 37th one. This is also related to the menstrual cycle. Which of the following events is correctly matched with the time of period in the normal menstrual cycle? You know, while we are discussing about the menstrual cycle, we were discussed about the days also. Did you remember that one? Yes. The menstrual phase, it's about 3 to 5 days follicular phase, and then after we were discussed about the ovulatory phase, finally luteal phase. Do you remember? Yes. So which of the following events correctly matched with the time period with normal one? If you consider the normal one, I told you in human females the menstruation is repeated at the average interval of about 28 or 29 days. That can be seen in normal cases. In abnormal cases, it may be plus 1 or minus 1. I told you while we are discussing about the theory, when they are not healthy, or in rare cases it may be differs. But in generally, if they are normal, means the endometrium regenerates between 5 to 13th day, isn't it? Then after exactly the 14th day, the ovulator phase, the ovulation will occur. Do you remember? Yes. The next question, fertilization and implantation. Yeah. Here again you should identify the correct sequence of development of embryo. So this question is purely related to the embryonic developmental stages, isn't it? Yeah. So let me to identify. After the fertilization, what will happen? The formation of the zygote, isn't it? Then after, what will happen? It is undergo the formation of the cleavages. I told you the zygote undergo mitotic division, which will be gives rise to the cleavages to form 2, 4, 8, 16 daughter cells is called blastomeres. Then the blastomeres, 8 to 16 blastomeres is also called morula. Then after, the morula continue to divide and transforms into blastocysts as it further moves into the uterus. And what will happen? Yes, that is gastrula, isn't it? So then which is the right answer? Option D is the right answer. Next 39th question. This is also related to the fertilization and implantation. During cleavage size off. So whenever the cleavages will happen, so I told you after the zygote formation, isn't it? The zygote start moving to the isthmus of oviduct towards the uterus, during which the zygote undergo mitotic division. How it will be? The size will be diffused. That's what I said. Whenever it will be 2-celled, 4-celled, 8-celled and 16-celled. So this will be how it will be. It is depends upon the size of the cleavage, is depends upon resulting cell decreases or increases, isn't it? The resulting cells decreases as the cleavage size increases. Okay. The next question, the fertilization and implantation, the topic. Select the correct sequences. Again, the beginning from the gametogenesis, then the spermatogenesis, insemination, then the fertilization, later implantation, embryogenesis and parturition. So this is the right option. Option C is the right option with correct sequences. Yeah, here the fertilization, implantation, the diagrammatic representation they have given, isn't it? You should identify the structures, isn't it? Whatever they have given. I hope you can easily identify the structure whatever they have given, isn't it? The A is nothing but ovum. Then when there will be fusion of the sperms into the ovum, that fertilization. Then the C is nothing but the morula. That's the embryo with 8 to 16 cell blastomeres is called morula, isn't it? D is also, that's what I said, 8 to 16 blastomeres, morula only. Then what about the blastocyst? The morula continues to divide and transforms into the blastocyst as it further moves into the uterus. Then implantation, isn't it? Yeah. When will the implantation takes place? The blastomeres in the blastocyst are arranged into an outer layer called tropoblast, and inner group of cells attached to the tropoblast is called inner cell mass. Finally, the blastocyst becomes embedded in the endometrium of the uterus, is called implantation. Did you got it? Yes. The next question, it is related to the embryonic development, parturition, lactation. The placenta is connected to the embryo by. First of all, what is the meaning of the placenta? Placenta is an organic connection between the maternal tissue and the fetus through which physiological exchanges are taking place, isn't it? Here what they have given question, placenta is connected to the embryo by, isn't it? It is connected, I mean the placenta is connected to the embryo by umbilical cord, isn't it? Yes. The next question, it is also related to the embryonic development and parturition, lactation. Which of the following is not produced by placenta? See, when it comes to the functions of the placenta, placenta also acts as an endocrine tissue and produces several hormones like HCG, that is human chronic gonadotropin hormones, then HPL, human placental lactogen hormone, estrogen and progesterone, along with relaxin, isn't it? In the later stage of the pregnancy, hormone called relaxin is also secreted by the ovary, but it doesn't produces LH. That means luteinizing hormone is not produced by placenta. So that's why. So it is not produced by placenta. LH is not produced by placenta. Is the right option? Option C is the right option. Then next question. Embryonic development, parturition and lactation. Here is also the part that becomes embryo proper is called. Yes. So when we are discussing about the embryogenesis, I told you, do you remember? Inner cell mass. Generally, isn't it? The inner cell mass, it becomes the embryo proper, isn't it? Next question. It is also related to the embryonic development, parturition, lactation. Marula contains, I told you just now, the embryo with 8 to 16 blastomeres is called marula. So which is the right option? Option D is the right option as well as answer. Next 46th question. Select the correct sequences. Yes, beginning from the insemination. Yeah, whenever after the insemination, the sperms will be released into the female reproductive tract. It is also called vagina. Then it will move towards the cervical canal. Later it will move towards the uterus. Finally it reaches the isthmus. Then after it will move towards the ampullary isthmic junction, where exactly the fertilization takes place. Isn't it? Yes. Next question. The embryonic development, parturition, lactation. Here it's also during embryonic stage, the blood is derived from. I told you while I am discussing about the embryonic layers, the primary germ layers and their derivatives. Do you remember? Yes. The mesoderm, that means gives rise to the dermis of the skin, kidneys, gonads, heart, blood vessels, cartilages, bone, adrenal glands and notochord, etc. Do you remember? Yes. And also ectoderm, it will be gives rise to epidermis of the skin, epidermal derivatives like glands, hair, nails, nervous system, eye, salivary glands, lacrymal glands. What about the endoderm? Endoderm gives rise to the liver, pancreas, anterior lobe of the pituitary, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, thymus gland, lining of trachea, bronchi, lungs, middle ear and urinary bladder. Do you remember? Yes, when we were discussing theory only, I told you in the last topic of this chapter, just go through that one so that you can identify. Yes. So during embryonic stage, the blood is derived from mesoderm. The next question. During pregnancy, which hormone level is not increased? That is LH. LH is not increased. When will be LH will be increased? At exactly middle day, or we can also say mid of the menstrual cycle, 14th day. LH hormone will be increased. That is also known as the LH surge. Do you remember? Because of that only the rupture of Graafian follicle will take place and ovulation occurs. Isn't it? Here they are asking, except this LH during pregnancy, remaining hormones increases. Okay. Then the next question, the yellowish milk is producing, especially during initial days of lactation, is also called, yes, colostrum. I told you the milk produced during the initial few days of the lactation is called colostrum, which contains several antibodies absolutely essential to develop resistance against the diseases for the newborn baby. Okay, so this helps the mother in feeding the newborn child also, and this is very important for the purpose of the baby. Okay, so this is what with respect to the the competitive part. So of course still there are a number of questions are there. Okay, so for the purpose of competitive, let it be. So these things, so whenever we will come to the direct classes, we will discuss in depthly and also we will solve more and more questions. Okay, so let it be. Thank you. Have a nice day.